Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. So today we are going to continue with the last topic for AUD589, and it's actually the same topic which is going to be discussed for AUD689 as well, which is Independent Auditors Report. So our learning objective would be to be able to explain the contents of the auditor's report and able to differentiate the different type of auditor's report, as well as understand the different circumstances under which each type of auditor's report is being issued. Now, we have been learning in our earliest chapter about audit planning, and we try to ascertain the internal control system of our client. We perform certain procedures, we perform tests of basis, tests of control, and then substantive tests, and then we review and evaluate the audit evidence from our audit procedures and documentation. So basically, audit report or independent auditor's report is actually the final product of our services. Now, what the independent auditor's report, as I mentioned just now, is the final stage of the entire audit process. Basically, it's a written communication of audit findings to the shareholders. In fact, the scope of the function of independent audit report is not only confined to the shareholders, it can also reach to the other stakeholders as well, such as bankers, creditors, and other parties who may use the information in the financial statement. It is a requirement for the auditor to report to the members of the company or the shareholders on the account presented at the annual general meeting. Okay, in order to avoid confusion to the readers, it is crucial for the auditing profession to adopt conventional and uniform wording in auditor's report. So, if you notice, if you browse through annual report in Bursa Malaysia website, there are a lot of companies. If you choose several and you open the independent auditor's report page, you will notice that they have sort of a uniform way, a wording to express their opinion to the readers. Now, there are 12 basic elements of auditor's report. You can have, as outlined in Auditing Standard 700, we have title, addressee, and so on. Okay, we will go one by one. So here we have an example of independent auditor's report for Nestle Malaysia Berhad. The first is the title. You can see independent auditor's report, and you have there to the members of Nestle Malaysia Berhad. So the members of Nestle Malaysia Berhad is actually the shareholders to the company. You have the company's name, and in bracket you put there incorporated in Malaysia. That is the addressee. And then we have the introductory paragraph. You can see here the wording. We have audited the financial statement of Nestle. Let's say you have another company, then the same wording, but it's going to be we have audited the financial statement of ABC Berhad or whatsoever. And then in the second paragraph, we can see that this is where the auditors will express their opinion. Here it says that in our opinion, the accompanying financial statement give true and fair view of the financial position of the group and the company as at 31st December 2018. So for this case, Nestle Berhad has a financial year end as at each 31st December. So it depends on the financial year end of the company. The fourth element is the basis for opinion. Okay, so we have one paragraph discussing this aspect. It states here, we conducted our audit in accordance with approved standards in auditing in Malaysia and international standards auditing, AI, as what we have discussed. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statement section of our auditor's report. So we have to state this in order to to show our responsibility in preparing the opinion. And then we also put auditor's ethical disclaimer. We have independence and other ethical responsibilities. Remember, we have learned from MIA bylaws So it states here we are independent of the group and of the company in accordance to bylaws, and as well as the International Ethics Standard Board for Accountant, Code of Ethics. And then we have included another paragraph on key audit matters. Now, key audit matters is basically matters in our professional judgment as auditors, significance in our audit of the financial statement for the current year, either for the group or even for the company. So that's why we have to express it in the report. This is just an example of a paragraph. And then we have to also insert a paragraph on the management responsibility. Remember, we have to safeguard ourselves as well. Responsibility to prepare the financial statement lies on the management. And then we state our responsibilities, auditor's responsibility, in another section. Okay, we state here that our objective is to obtain reasonable assurance whether the financial statement of the group and of a company free from material misstatement. So it is always this sentence, free from material misstatement, because you must always go back to the earliest topics where we talk about us giving them only reasonable assurance. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Number 8 is other reporting responsibility. Okay, if we have any other reporting responsibility, we need to state that. And then the last slide with the example of Nestle Berhad Auditors Report. We have the name of the firm, for example here KPMG, and then the name of the engagement partner here Chong Gi Xiang, with the approval number, practice number. Okay, number 9, as well as signature, as well as the engagement partner. Auditor's address, that means KPMG is being registered in Petaling Jaya. So date of the auditor's report, 26 February 2019. Okay, just now we talk about key audit matters. So basically, key audit matters are those matters that the auditors, in our judgment, significant to the audit. So if we go through financial statement of many companies, there would be various topics on key audit matters. It could be something about going concern, or it could be something about project that the company is in. So it can be, it varies. So for example here, they have on goodwill and on investment. So they put it as a risk area and rationale, and they also give their response. For example, in terms of goodwill, so the auditors have stated that the group's goodwill as at 31st December stood at 5.6 billion. So goodwill impairment testing of cash generating unit relies on estimates of value in use. So they elaborate on how goodwill is being presented. So our response, that means the auditor's response is such that our audit procedure included, among other things, evaluating the assumptions and methodologies used by the group and the bank in performing the impairment assessment. And then we further elaborate, we tested the basis of preparing the cash flow forecast, taking into account the back testing results on the accuracy of previous forecasts and the historical evidence supporting underlying assumptions. So this is a very normal paragraph, has been effected since a few years back, where since the government feel that there are certain areas that need to be highlighted to the shareholders. So the auditors, the audit firm has to be alert on the key audit matters, and they need to raise this in the report as well. So basically, for this topic, there are going to be two videos for me to explain. But before we move on to the next video, I want you to digest or look at, have an bird view picture, overview picture on how or how many types of audit report are there. So basically, there are two types of audit report. First, we call this unqualified or unmodified audit report, which is covered under Auditing Standard 700, AI 700. And then we have also modified or qualified audit report covered under Auditing Standard 705. So under the unqualified audit report itself, there are two types: standard unqualified. In general, this means a clean audit report, which I will elaborate later in the next video. The second one is modified unqualified, meaning there are still matters need to be highlighted but do not affect the auditor's opinion. Then we have to add explanatory paragraph to the unqualified audit report, and usually we call this as emphasis of matter, unqualified audit report with emphasis of matter, covered in Auditing Standard 706. Under modified or qualified audit report, which is under Auditing Standard 705, they highlighted three matters that may affect the auditor's opinion, which makes them being qualified at the first place. The auditor's opinion can be divided into three. It could be qualified or except for, it could be disclaimer of opinion, or adverse opinion. Okay, this is a short, not a short video. I have to cut short the video because in the next video, we are going to elaborate further what do we mean by each of the audit report. Thank you, class.